Your imagination is able to do all that you ask in proportion to the degree of your attention. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Tabbie Talks. I'm Tabbie. For those of you who are new here, what's going on? And for those of you who are not new here, thanks so much for your returning support. As we continue with my explanation of the power of awareness, I want to remind you that the power of awareness is available on YouTube. You can listen to the free audiobook, order one yourself. I think it cost me like $11 on Amazon, and it is a complete and total game changer. So I'm actually reading from chapter 12, subjective control. And what I do every day is before I make these videos is I just set the intention that the work that I'm doing or that I'm contributing good to the world. And then I set that and I open up the page because I've already read it. So, and the whole entire book has spoken to me directly. And so I feel like my message is to get it out to you. And so for this particular, I am going to kind of jump, but I am in chapter 12. It's called subjective control. And I already said the first line, which is your imagination is able to do all that you ask in proportion to the degree of your attention. And then kind of skipping over, that's chock full of information. Another line that really stood out to me that says, when you are able to control the movements of your attention in the subjective world, you can modify or alter your life as you please. But this control cannot be achieved if you allow your attention to be attracted constantly from without. So, a couple things it's saying here that when you're able to control the movements of your attention in the subjective world, okay? The subjective world is your internal world. What is your internal world? If you don't know, that is the inner conversations that you are having with yourself. That is your inner narrator. That is the piece of you that is constantly thinking, whether you're thinking about the past and replaying bad, hurtful, awful events, whether you are thinking about the future of what hasn't happened and a potential argument that's going to come out. You can also be doing this based on the past and the future or the now, on imagining the things that you want. But to keep us focused here today, this is talking about when you are able to control the movements of your attention in the subjective world. So when you are able to go within and deliberately imagine what it is that you want. Deliberately imagine the inner conversation, not as it took place, but how you would have liked it to take place. And assuming that you would feel good from that conversation and that you are doing good unto others in that situation. It's not about, like, you may have a moment where you are reflecting and you are so angry and you're just going off on that person and telling them how terrible they are. And even though that can bring like a sense of relief, if you think that by blaming other people and in order to elevate yourself is going to actually elevate you, you won't. Because what you will find, and this is some of the hardest work you will ever have to do, is realize that when you think bad about somebody, when you judge another person, that energy, like I am rubber, you are glue, what bounces off of me sticks to you, your negative assumptions and beliefs about people bounce off of them and come back on you. And you can deny it all you want, that no, it's them, no, it's them, no, it's them. But it is your assumptions. Now, it may not have been your assumption about that specific person that made the situation appear, but it could be about the assumptions that you hold as generalizations. So, for example, let's say you find yourself in a new relationship and this person appeared to be wonderful, right? But over the course of time, little things popped up, yada, yada, yada. And now they are a monster in your mind. No, when you first met them, you didn't see those things. However, you may have been holding a generalization about men in your mind or about women in your mind. Okay, so a very common thing that we are taught, and forgive me, this is an adult conversation, so hopefully there's no kiddos around, but like as a woman, I was taught from social media and even from my parents, and sorry mom and dad, I love you guys. You guys were only trying to keep me safe and I appreciate that. But like that men will tell you anything because all they want is sex, or that men and women are different and that men only, men can have like unattached sex or not care, and women are always emotional and needy. And so let's say these are the beliefs that you've acquired over your life and you bring them into your today. So you meet somebody new, you think they're great, okay? And as time, well, your concepts that you hold within you are going to show up. They might say something, they might do something, and now all of a sudden you have a belief going on, right? Okay, same thing for women. Some men believe that women are, shysty or manipulators, or that women leave. And so you may meet somebody new and they may be great. But the longer you go on, if you are carrying that belief that women cannot be trusted for X, Y, and Z, there will be things that she or they do that trigger that within you, and then your mind wanders. But see, that is the key. The key is to catch your mind wandering. The key is when something is happening, you need to check in with your subjective world, your internal world, and say, what did that make me feel? Like, what inner conversation started playing? And sometimes it's not a conversation so much as like a thought or a, yeah, go figure kind of a thing. But what I'm here to do is challenge and encourage you to listen to the thoughts that you have going on inside of you, because the only way to alter the outside world is to become in control of what is on the inside world. When we consume information from the outside, right now you are listening to this and you are absorbing from without, which is, you happen to be using it for a good thing to elevate yourself. But what this should do is turn it around and have you focus on what's inside. Because I am telling you, I know from my own firsthand experience and the stories of so many others before me, we are creating our realities. We are that powerful. As within, so without. That is the way that it goes. There is no other exception to that rule. And once you can sit with that, and it is such a hard thing, and I will tell you, the key to freedom is forgiving yourself and forgiving the people involved, and then believing the best about that person, and essentially believing the best about yourself. Because just like I said, they are rubber, you are glue. What bounces off of me sticks to you. What? You know the phrase, okay? When you do good unto others in here, from here, what you send out to them comes back to you. So I know there was a little bit more, but I'm really happy with the way that this all poured out of me. Each day, set yourself the task of deliberately withdrawing your attention from the objective world and focusing it subjectively. In other words, concentrate on thoughts or moods which you deliberately determine. So don't be passive in this. You need to do, this is the work to be done. But I have to keep my videos under 10 minutes, otherwise it's gonna cut off. And I know that these teachings are really valuable. If you have questions, if you wanna know more, feel free to drop me a comment. I do have a Stan store in my bio, so you can send me a question. I'm happy to help. I know you're doing great. And don't you forget, keep shining your light because the world needs it. Take care.